Right now at 6, putting a focus on affordable housing. Mayor Larson's latest proposal to address the growing issue. Plus, spooky season is back at the Twin Ports after 4 years. We're taking you live to the haunted ship. And later, we're sharing one Northland's dog's heartwarming journey to recovery to find a fur-ever home.
From CBS 3 Duluth, this is the CBS 3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Natalie Grant. Kristen is on assignment tonight. Thanks for joining us. Much needed relief could soon be coming to Duluth's housing crisis. Mayor Emily Larson announced a proposed solution today. CBS 3's Kendall Jarbo explains her plan.
It's no secret, Duluth has a shortage of affordable housing. An issue so bad, it's causing employers to lose their workers and renters to move away.
Right now in Duluth, we are about 3,500 housing units short. We are working on it, but we're not able to fulfill that gap fast enough.
To fill the gap, Mayor Emily Larson announced her plan to create a housing trust fund. Through the plan, the city will invest at least $6 million into affordable housing with the help of the Local Initiative Support Corporation.
Renters, homeowners, new community members, long-standing neighborhood residents, people of all ages, incomes, and abilities deserve more and better, and we are here to deliver.
The Housing Trust Fund would invest in affordable housing through various programs, like providing low or no interest loans to housing developers to create low-cost for-sale or rental units. Homeowners can also apply for money to build a secondary dwelling on their primary lot.
This allows our local developers to be creative, to explore new ideas for housing development, because it gives our community some flexible money that's not subject to all the restrictions that we generally see in affordable housing development.
A plan of action to increase housing stock, invest in neighborhood improvements, and promote density wherever possible.
The Housing Trust Fund requires approval from the City Council. An ordinance will be presented to them on October 11th. They'll vote on October 25th. If the plan is approved, the city expects the program to begin in early 2022. While also at tonight's meeting, counselors will have their first conversation about recognizing harm and trauma facing American Indian and Alaska Native communities. They're specifically calling out the nation's boarding school policy, along with a dozen other cities across the country. The policy took Indigenous students from their families and placed them in boarding schools across the country up until the 1970s. It's been widely criticized for years, most recently after the remains of 215 Indigenous children were found in unmarked graves outside a boarding school in British Columbia. Now, this resolution, if passed, would show Duluth supports Congress investigating the old policy and ways to heal trauma. Now, the resolution would only be symbolic of the council's support. The Duluth City Council does not have the authority over the U.S. Congress. The council is expected to discuss the matter tonight, then vote at Monday's meeting. Well, a nonprofit aimed at helping teachers fill their classrooms is one step closer to finding a new home. Companies to Classrooms allows local teachers to come pick up free school supplies instead of having to pay for them out of their own pocket. They used to operate out of the historic Old Central downtown, but Duluth School District just sold that building, forcing Companies to Classroom to move out. Now, on Monday, the City Council will consider allowing the nonprofit to move to the Grant Recreation Center in the East Hillside neighborhood. That center has been closed to the public recently. Minnesota's governor is looking for new ways to reduce climate change impacts. Today, Governor Tim Walz directed state agencies to explore ways to cut back on impacts from transportation fuels. The process will identify goals and opportunities that will help form a new clean fuel standard in Minnesota. This standard is a part of the border climate effort that includes achieving 100% carbon-free electricity by 2040, among other things. Several state agencies will provide a report summarizing the results and recommendations in February of 2020. Well, Dave joins us now for a quick look at that weather. It's been just kind of a foggy couple days out there, very in time for some spooky festivities that are happening this weekend.
But only foggy for parts of our region. It's been, speaking of this time of year, a Jekyll and Hyde sort of week as far as weather goes. Cooler by the lake, warmer inland, foggier by the lake, sunny inland. So here's a live look at what's going on up around Ash Lake, up Highway 53, north of Cook and Orr. And it's gorgeous, blue sky, lots of sunshine, a little bit of color peeking in the northern forest, but we could, and some of those trees have lost their leaves, but we still have a little more color to go. Although looking at the colors here may be a little bit more difficult for this weekend because the blue sky should become gray sky for everybody, not just lakeside communities for Friday and for the weekend. And that's because several low pressure systems are coming their way to give us a rain chance. This map only shows 2, but there's another one to the south and another one farther to the west. Could be 4 working our way to our area here, bringing that rain chance that could begin tonight and go on through tomorrow and finally wrap up on Sunday. And once it goes away Sunday, will it stay away for long? I'll show you how long with the 7-day forecast a little bit later here in the news.
All right, thanks, Dave. Minnesota healthcare leaders say the state's growing COVID numbers are concerning. MDH Commissioner Jan Malcolm says based on CDC guidelines, every county in Minnesota has high rates of transmission. There are almost 900 COVID patients hospitalized in the state right now. Also worrying, Malcolm says the state is seeing 2,000 cases a week in kids under the age of 12. There are very few pediatric ICU beds available in the state. Malcolm says people need to remember that COVID is not just a concern for older adults.
This disease can and does impact young and healthy people, including children. It's true, and we're grateful for the fact that children are generally less likely to have severe illness, but there are sometimes tragic exceptions to that rule.
Malcolm says they're also concerned about hospital capacity, where both beds and personnel are stretched thin. She says every Minnesotan needs to do their part to support their healthcare workers, including getting vaccinated and masking up. Well, Minnesota government agencies are ramping up discipline for workers who won't follow COVID mandates. State officials say more than 500 employees have either declined the shot or submit to weekly testing. A statewide mandate forcing employees to do one or the other went into effect about 1 month ago. Employees who refuse both can be sent home, put on unpaid leave, or otherwise disciplined up to termination. The news comes as the state's COVID-19 death toll reaches more than 8,200 since the pandemic began. Well, Pfizer is seeking approval to administer its COVID-19 vaccine to a new age group. That age group is children 5 to 11 years old. If regulators agree, shots could begin within a matter of weeks. Right now, the vaccine is available only to those as young as 12. The FDA is scheduled to debate the approval later this month. Well, Duluth's most haunted attraction is back in the harbor this year. The haunted ship is making its return after nearly 4 years away, first for restoration and then because of the pandemic. Staff is preparing for each October's event all year round and even goes to conventions to find the best way to scare people. CBS 3's Quinn Gorham is live for us at the haunted ship on its opening night. Quinn, you got some great face paint on. You're really getting in the spirit. What's going on over there?
That's right, Natalie. I was actually inside earlier getting some face paint on with some of the actors here. Should be a really fun time, but right now I'm here with Steve. Steve, where are you from? What are you doing here today?
I am from River Falls, Wisconsin. I'm up here on vacation with my son. My son's never been up here, so I figured this was a good place to have vacation with him.
So, what are you doing at the haunted ship here today?
I've never been to a haunted ship. I heard it's a real good place to go to get scared, so I thought I'd try it out with my son.
Are you typically a big fan of haunted houses during this time of the year?
I'm a real big fan of it. My son and I love to go to as many of them as we can.
In the haunted houses that you've been to, what's been your favorite thing?
Pretty much anything to do with clowns.
Okay, so clowns, like It kind of stuff?
It kind of stuff, and any scary clown things that can happen.
So I take it, since you're a big fan of haunted houses, you're probably a big fan of Halloween too. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
What are you planning to go as for Halloween this year?
I'm actually planning on going as a clown.
Well, there you go. That's perfect. You know, the haunted ship, might have some clown attractions in here. We'll see. We'll have to check it out. Steve, I wish you good luck as you go into the ship earlier on. We'll toss it back to you guys, Natalie.
Looks like a lot of spooky fun out there. Quinn, live for us at the Haunted Ship tonight. Thanks. Well, there's another opportunity to be terrorized this weekend. The Haunted Shack in Carlton opens for its 28th season tomorrow. Now, if horror isn't necessarily your thing, they also have a corn maze open during the day and other family-friendly events. You can check out our website for the full schedule. Well, still to come at Live, local CBS 3 reaching out a helping paw. How the Duluth community helped save a dog's life. We'll share Curly's emotional story coming up next.
Boy, all these haunted house stories are making me nostalgic. We Iron Range kids, of course, loved Scream in the Dark in Virginia back in the day. Well, we may have to scream in the rain this weekend because clouds are coming and rain chances are going up towards 60% and may last through Sunday. Will we get a break on Monday? I'll show you with the 7-day coming up after our break.
Duluth Casino wants to celebrate your birthday with you all month long. Every day during your birthday month, you can receive up to $30 in club cash as a special birthday bonus.
Did you say every day?
Yes, every day of your birthday month. Stop by the Players Club or log on to FondDuluthCasino.com for all the participation details. We're celebrating your birthday all month long, so you can
have a great time out at Fond du Lac.
Numi Jewelers is a full-service jewelry store ready to help you find the perfect piece or design your own. With our custom design services, we work with you to create the one-of-a-kind piece of your dreams. True love is guaranteed at Numi Jewelers.
Eric Paulson here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Doesn't really matter who you are, where you live, you have a 20 family.
People reach a crisis moment and they don't see any other way out.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for people ages 25 to 34. People struggle with it every day.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Tiffany. If you or your loved one struggles with their mental health and or thoughts of suicide, no, you are not alone. Reach out for help and talk to someone.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Get ready, y'all. Start spreading the news. We're taking the show on the road and kicking off a new season in NYC. Big shows, big stars, and big surprises. We're going big in the Big Apple. Well, that works too. From Central Park to Coney Island, I'm putting the y'all in New York. You didn't even know it was there, but it is now. Get ready, y'all. We're kicking off a new season in NYC. Big shows, big stars, and big surprises. I'm putting the y'all in New York. You didn't even know it was there, but it is now.
I didn't realize you were so unhappy.
Because you never bothered to ask.
Want some company? What if we go someplace else?
What do you have in mind?
I'm struggling with an ethical crisis.
You might be overthinking this.
I thought about it and I'm not.
Pastor Jeff is here.
You gotta talk to the pastor. Get.
Sheldon?
Excuse me, I have to get.
The new season of Young Sheldon begins tonight at 8/7 Central on CBS.
CBS 3 News is brought to you by Fond du Lac Casino. CBS 3 Weather is brought to you by Lake Superior College. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, we were talking just a few minutes ago about this week's weather being very much like Jekyll and Hyde, split personalities with cooler and cloudier by the lake and warmer and sunnier inland. And for the past 3-4 nights now, we've had dense fog advisories because of the cooler by the lake phenomenon, and we're rolling with that again tonight. So if you live in Douglas County, Carleton County, southern St. Louis, up the North Shore of Stripe and down the South Shore of Stripe, dense fog advisory once again. Visibility is reduced greatly. Tomorrow morning's commute, please travel cautiously. Odds are the advisory stays in effect till about 10 o'clock in the morning when temperature and dew points start to spread apart and then the fog evaporates. Of course, we'd like to say it burns off, but nothing's being lit on fire. No, it's an evaporation process. Well, with plenty of rain perhaps on tap for the weekend here, we might have some evaporation happening and some more fog as well. We'll talk about our rainy odds coming as we take this live look at the sky over the Twin Ports, where those high, thin clouds have indeed becoming lower and thicker as low pressure systems get closer to bring us our rain chance. Current temp at the airport, 64. Relative humidity, 72%. East-southeast winds going 6 miles per hour, and our air pressure, it's low enough aloft for clouds, yes, but still on the high side at the surface where it doesn't make much of a difference. Well, what kind of temperatures we have at this hour? And like the past week, we've got some cooler by the lake and some warmer inland numbers. Except it's flip-flopped in the UP. It's warmer by the lake and cooler inland. 73 Ironwood, 66 Watersmeet, 59 to 70 in Wisconsin, cool spot Superior. Oh, Hayward Cable area, that's the warm area. And in Minnesota, the Arrowhead's in the 60s for the most part, though you get to the edges, we see some 70s, like from International Falls to Big Fork. Temperatures are starting to dip, though. Grand Rapids and Ely have now slipped into the 60s, and so has Moose Lake. But in general, for the week ahead, we will be warmer than normal, with several days' worth of rain chances coming our way. And one of the players is this low-pressure system that's going through Tennessee and Kentucky. Its northern edges are starting to reach into southern Wisconsin, and so that's part of the action that could bring Wisconsin, Michigan a rain chance tonight and through the weekend. And that's backed up by two low-pressure systems in the Dakotas and over towards Manitoba. That helps aid the chance for rain on Friday. That, in turn, is backed up by another low-pressure system that's in Idaho. So with all of this coming together, we've got rain chances beginning tonight, sticking around through Friday, Saturday, and going away Sunday. And by the time all is done and said and done, rain totals through persistent could be fairly decent, up towards an inch for a lot of our towns. You know, when you spread that over 3-4 days, it's a quarter to a third of an inch a day. So shouldn't cause any flooding, but will give us some precipitation. Tonight in Minnesota, we are looking for low temps to be in the 50s, 20% rain chance. So it's not great there, but it is 40% for Wisconsin and Michigan. Lows there in the 50s. Tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, high temps once again warmer than normal, 66 to 70. 50-50 shot for showers, maybe isolated thunderstorms. 40% chance for Minnesotans, low 60s by the lake, 65 to 70 inland. Extended forecast, there's our rain chance, like I mentioned, from tonight through Sunday. Then Monday is a day to get ready for another round of rain that could be with us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 30 to 60% shots, Natalie. But, you know, this time of October usually is on the cloudy side and the showery side as the jet stream makes its transition from its southern home to its winter home.
Yeah, some gloomy weather to welcome in the gloomy season, or the spooky season in some cases.
A little bit spooky, so it actually aids and abets that if you're into it.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Dave. One Northland dog is getting a second chance thanks to luck and a lot of love from the community. On the evening of August 30th, Kira Patrick Johnson was driving down Highway 210 in Carlton when she saw a dog that had been hit by a car, barely alive. Kira contacted the Missing Pets of the Northland Facebook page and found out what to do. A member of that group, Jody Carlson, showed up in just minutes and took the dog, which she named Curly, to Blue Pearl Pet Hospital overnight. No owner came forward, so Jody paid out of pocket. She started a Facebook fundraiser for his medical bills, asking for $2,500. Now, instead, she raised $4,100 in community donations.
Anything that was left over that wasn't used for his medical bills went right into our pot to use for other stray animals in emergencies.
After an overnight stay and some care at the ER, Jody took Curly to the Duluth Veterinary Hospital where she works. Despite head trauma, a leg injury, and leg bruising, he walked on all fours. After tender, loving care, he's now happy and healthy. The vets say that his story is an inspiration.
This is why we do what we do, is to help the animals and see them get better, and that's the greatest reward.
Now, coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from the woman who found the pup in the road and how the women all worked together to save Curly's life. Now, October is also Adopt a Dog Month, and tomorrow on Live at 5, we'll have a very special guest still looking for its forever home. Join us for the Pet of the Day. Well, Kelly Hinseth is here with what's next in sports, going from dogs to bulldogs. It's
The dogs.
It's an exciting weekend ahead.
Bulldog fans in the stands. Say it with me.
Go Dogs.
They're back this weekend. Baby Sports is next.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. CBS 3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChev.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChev.com, a better way to buy.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free, no one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Hi, Gail King here, inviting you to join us every morning right here on CBS. We'll have the important stories and the interviews, all the news that matters really, and best of all, we'll have a good time together. We like to do that. And now you can find us anytime you want on the new Paramount Plus app. So we'll see you every morning right here on CBS. I thought that one was pretty good.
Sports are my passion and the love of my life. And when you watch a sportscast, the biggest compliment that I get is that you seem so excited about what you're talking about. And that's not an act for me. Who doesn't want to see someone, deliver their news in a fun way? So if you love it, I love it. You're gonna see the authenticity that I think I bring.
Watch sports with Kelly Hinseth, weeknights on Live Local CBS 3.
Calling all Bulldogs. Do you consider yourself a diehard UMD Bulldog fan? Send a picture of you or you and your crew all decked out in your Bulldog attire for a chance to be the My9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week. Follow the My9 Sports Facebook page and post your pictures there to be entered into our weekly random drawings. Each Fan of the Week will be showcased in our My9 Sports UMD Athletics Broadcast of the Week. The My9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week is brought to you by the Duluth Tap Exchange.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
This pup is healthy and ready for a new home thanks to some guardian angels and concerned community members. Tune in tonight to learn more about Curly's story.
That's happening tonight at 10 on CBS 3. Now, CBS 3 Sports with Kelly Hinseth.
It's been over a year and a half since Amsoil Arena has been at full capacity with fans, but they're back this weekend for both the UMD men's and women's hockey team. The men are on the road Friday night, but they are back in Duluth on Saturday night to take on Bemidji State. The women are home on both Friday and Saturday to take on the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Fans going to the game can expect to wear masks regardless of their vaccination status. The Bulldogs also announced today that they've already sold a record number of student season tickets.
I think it's going to be a similar experience that they're used to. There are a few changes, like we have more local foods that we are offering, but I think it's still going to be great hockey and ruckus fandom. So I think the atmosphere that people have come to expect at Amsoil will be the same. There is pent-up demand to come back to what is really the cathedral of hockey here in Duluth.
Say that again. Expected to be a very fun weekend for sure. One other big change, if you're looking for local beer or alcoholic beverages, they're now going to be available at every concession stand instead of one out in the lobby. Welcome back, fans. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Or in Maddie Rooney's case, once more a Bulldog. The former UMD standout goaltender is returning to her alma mater's staff as the Bulldogs' new volunteer goaltending consultant. Rooney is currently one of the 27 players in the U.S. residency program down in Blaine, Minnesota, in the lead up to the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. The Andover, Minnesota native is UMD's all-time career saves leader with over 3,400 stops. UMD welcomes in Minnesota for their first game of the season at home tomorrow night. Green Bay was rumored to be in the mix to land former Patriots Pro Bowl corner Stephon Gilmore yesterday, but that fell through, and he ended up being traded to the Panthers. But they did land a different defensive free agent this morning. Green Bay signed former Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith. According to ESPN reports, it's a one-year deal, and the Cowboys are still on the hook for the $7 million he's owed this season as a base salary. He's to fill the roster spot of Chauncey Rivers, who tore his ACL on the second-to-last play of Wednesday's practice.
I just think a veteran guy that's played at a really high level and, you know, just can bring kind of a mentality and leadership to our defense. And certainly he's going to be behind quite a bit, so there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be put in. And, you know, we'll let him kind of come in here and compete to play.
He's a fierce competitor, but he always has a smile on his face. In general, I think anytime you add a veteran player to a team, there's the possibility of sometimes it just takes an environment switch for some of those guys to play their best football.
Green Bay plays at Cincinnati this Sunday. We got to go back. Natalie, the Dogs are back in town this weekend in front of fans. I know you can't be there because you do have to man this desk.
I do, unfortunately.
But
you'll be there, though.
I will be there.
And I know that we can all follow along vicariously through your Twitter and your Instagram stories. I'm sure, Kelly, for all those who can't be there, Kelly's got us covered. Don't worry, guys.
Got it. And I get to be back between the benches with my mask on and just to be up close in person. It's going to be amazing.
That's what we're all been waiting for.
Let's do that hockey.
All right. Well, thanks, Kelly. Well, before we go, scientists are excited about discovering a well-preserved tardigrade fossil in a 16-million-year-old piece of amber. Now, if you've seen Jurassic Park, this should sound familiar. Tardigrades are known for their ability to survive extreme environments and have lived for 500 million years on Earth. But these tiny animals, sometimes called water bears, don't leave many fossils behind. In fact, this is only the third one that's ever been discovered. They kind of look like little dinosaur hippopotamuses to me, but very cool discovery. Yeah. Well, Dave, last check of the forecast here for the night.
All right. Let's take a look then at the 7-day, which is going to show a rain chance beginning tonight with 20 to 40% odds, becoming 40 to 60% chances through Sunday. And by the time things wrap up, we may get an inch worth of rain before it dries up for a whole day on Monday.
All right. Thanks, Dave. That's your CBS 3 News at 6. We'll see you right back here tonight.